Yo, what up guys, Squinto here. Today's topic for the good old video vlog is the shift of consciousness in humanity, the transformation of Earth, if you will. Let's get going. What I think really is the best parallel to existence and consciousness on all levels is that of a game, and for our more modern viewers here, a video game. Consciousness and beings in general create scenarios for themselves. We create scenarios for ourselves with objectives and goals to learn and grow. The end game goal here is to gain XP and level up. So of course this happens on a personal basis within our individual realities and day-to-day lives, but of course it also happens on the mass consciousness grand scale of things with an entire species on an entire planet, within whole solar systems, galaxies, universes, etc. So I'm sure all of you have heard of at least the whole 2012 hype game, you know, end of the Mayan calendar, oh, it's the apocalypse, end of the world, or whatever. I'm sure a number of you are familiar with end-time prophecies and are generally familiar with the idea of the shift of consciousness and energetic earth changes that are going on at this time. So I'm going to break down my perspective on what that is and what it means. Our level of consciousness, sort of, you know, the niche that humans occupy versus animals or plant life, goes through phases, or epochs, if you will. The last phase of humanity, or the last epoch of humanity, was Atlantis, and the one before that was Lemuria. And this cycle is directly linked to the precession of the equinox, which is a 26,000 year cycle. So every 13,000 or 26,000 years, we enter a new phase of humanity. Going back to the video game analogy, you know, we progress and learn within that cycle. So generally, as you have the precession of the equinox going on, you have the beginning here, ending here of the cycle. Generally, you know, you have where you started and where you're going. And ideally, you're going at like a nice, even, generally like linear ratio, learning and progressing throughout the epoch of humanity to get to where you want to be to consciously progress into the next epoch smoothly and seamlessly. Now, I'm not going to go into the details here, but what happened was at the end of our last epoch of Atlantis, we ran into some challenges, and our natural course of evolution was essentially derailed. So what we have is an entrance into this epoch of humanity, the Age of Pisces, where we pretty much lost all progress, essentially. So now, this is where we were beginning. This is where we were beginning, and we got really off track. And this is the end of the epoch, which is, you know, the Mayan 2012 prophecy thing. And instead of going like this the whole time, we've been putting, not really gaining any experience. Actually, if you look back on it, humans were pretty much the most advanced at the very beginning of our civilization. I'm talking spiritually here. Obviously, we now have developed technology and all sorts of scientific means to manipulate the world around us, which tricks a lot of humans into thinking that we're more advanced than the ancients. But if you look back, we have ancient tribal cultures, you know, the Dogons of Africa, who understood binary star system orbits. They understood the precession of the equinox. They have detailed cave drawings depicting aliens coming down from the stars and teaching them. The Mayans knew how to measure the precession of the equinox in various extremely complex astronomical movements using very complex systems of caves and lighting and stuff like that. And us, scientifically, have only discovered the precession of the equinox relatively recently in comparison to that. And let's not forget that these ancient cultures were extremely advanced and knew about all sorts of cycles, and not, let's say, 500 years ago, humans were afraid of sailing off the edge of the earth if they ventured too far into the ocean. So we've basically been making a lot of reverse progress in this epoch of humanity. Now that might seem like a bad thing, like a negative thing, like, oh no, what are we going to do? Our progress is lost. We're like right on the edge. We are literally in the transition period between the last epoch of humanity, or our current epoch of humanity, and the next one, and we are totally lost. I mean, look at the state of the world right now. The majority of humans are very spiritually disconnected. A lot of people don't believe in the spiritual realms. A lot of people believe adamantly in warped mind control religious paradigms. A lot of people believe adamantly in the very misdirected scientific paradigm, or not misdirected, limited scientific paradigm of our current time. And the reality of the matter is that spiritual people are a pretty small minority at this time. And even within these spiritual people, the amount of people who actually get it is even a smaller minority. The fact of the matter is that this is one of the most unprecedented and positive opportunities for growth and positive transformation that the universe, this universe, and possibly creation as a whole has ever seen. What this opportunity and current situation gives us is it's truly incredible, you know? What we have is, well, we have a great need for spiritual change, a great need for leveling up, and a rapid acquisition of XP so that we may pass into the next phase of our spiritual growth. And we don't have a lot of time to do it. So what this gives us as souls incarnating onto Earth at this time for the sake of learning, for the purpose of learning and experiencing things and growing, what we have is a truly unprecedented opportunity to experience extremely rapid change, extremely rapid growth, learning, and transformation. Now, a lot of people tend to look at this time period of Earth, those who are aware of it, they're looking for external changes, they're looking for big Earth changes, they're looking for huge upheavals in the government, huge social changes. Well, those are happening. That's not really what this is about. Those will ultimately be some endgame manifestations of what's happening right now, but this time, this period of transformation and extremely increased and accelerated energy is 110% about the internal personal world. It is about personal transformation and personal evolution, personal spiritual growth. That is what this is about. Those who have been aware of this change and the Mayan end time prophecies are probably aware of what is called the 3 days of darkness. Now, a lot of people have been interpreting this very literally and saying, oh, guys, the world is going to go completely dark for 3 days, and shit's going to get crazy, and the continents are going to shift around, and this, and that, and that, and that hasn't really happened yet, and I don't think it's actually going to happen. It seems pretty far-fetched to me. What the 3 days of darkness is actually a metaphor for is this. There is a part of our galaxy which is astronomically dubbed the Dark Rift. And what that is a part of our galaxy which is completely dark to the visible spectrum of light and radiation and general things that we can look out into space with. It's an area of dark gas clouds. There's no stars there or solar systems there. It's literally a dark section of our galaxy. And on the precession of the equinox, the center point of our precession actually passes through that dark rift, and that's what we're experiencing right now. And the 3 days of darkness is a metaphor for the 3 decades with which it takes our precession of equinox to move through the dark rift. That period started in 1994 and will end in 2030. So we are currently experiencing the 3 days of darkness. We are in the pretty much the most intense part of this shift of the ages right now. What we're experiencing is the death and end of all the old energy, which often appears as things regressing or things not getting better, because when old energy dies, it knows it's dying, and it tries its very hardest to hang on. And that's why we see, negative fear, mind control tactics ramping up in the news. That's why we see governments doing negative things. That's why we see this, why we see that. We're experiencing that. We are also experiencing an unprecedented shift and acceleration of energies. So what we do, think, and manifest with our lives now is planting the seeds for the next generation of humanity. It is very crucial to stay centered, focused, positive, and productive during this time, for we are truly paving the way for the next generation of humanity. We're alive in truly exceptional times. I believe that the universe and creation has never seen a situation quite like this before. We are truly creating a first-time opportunity and a first-time event. The history of Earth, the story of Earth right now, is going to go down as one of the most important events in the timeline of this universe. It is very special that you're here right now. It's very special that we are all here. It is a very brave feat indeed to just incarnate onto Earth right now. If you incarnate onto Earth and you never become aware and you are simply someone who lives their existence under the control of others, being manipulated by, the mass government, secret government force, whatever, that is an incredibly brave and valiant, important thing to do. Now, when you come here and you choose to walk the path of awareness, and you choose to become awakened during this time, that is truly exceptional. Big pat on the shoulder to all you guys who are walking that path right now. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's wicked awesome, and we're all doing it. Guys, that pretty much wraps it up for today. More videos coming soon. I'm going to be talking about crystals. I'm going to be talking about meditation, general spiritual lifestyle stuff. how I progress myself spiritually, what it means to me to live a conscious lifestyle, and various stuff. You know, there's so much depth here, so much to talk about, and I really love the response I've been getting on these guys. Stay positive. Much love.